Let's talk about it. New law being proposed in Texas that will require men to pay child support at the time of conception. With that being said, let's get into the clips.
All right, fellas, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful because there's a bill here that passed the Texas Senate where a judge would be able to grant a woman child support for a child at conception. I don't see nothing wrong. Not when the child is born, at conception. So which means the minute there's a positive DNA test, whether you're there or not, you could pay child support. In Senate Bill 942, the father would be responsible for a share of reasonable and necessary prenatal and postnatal health care expenses. Paternity would have to be established here, obviously, and the date of conception would be determined by a doctor or through other evidence, such as a parent's testimony. Now, the bill hasn't passed the House just yet, but if it does, and it gets signed by the governor,
Man, if this gets signed into law, it's going to get real spooky. Just think about the fact that she would only need a positive DNA test. And from my understanding, you can't determine paternity until what, the eighth week? So we could have a situation here where you could be on the hook for child support and it could take some time for your name to finally be cleared. I mean, if you're a man in Texas, again, and this law gets passed, you got to be real careful with the way you're moving.
New Texas law went into effect, and y'all know I'm here for it. Texas has a new law, SB 942. A father will be responsible for paying retroactive child support starting from the date of conception. This bill seeks to ensure both parents contribute to the financial responsibility of pregnancy, including medical expenses. The topic has sparked passionate responses from both legal experts and community members. With child support in the state of Texas, it only looks at one parent's income as the one paying support.
Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from men and women. How do you feel about this new proposed law in Texas that would require men to pay child support at the time of conception? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's unfair? Let me know in the comments below.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican-run states and their batshit crazy laws have gotten even worse. Kentucky has just put up a bill to where child support kicks in at conception. At conception. Yeah, at conception. Now, how exactly are they going to gauge that? I mean, after a night, a date, or whatever, he starts paying? I mean, I don't know what they're going for here. But yeah, Republicans in Kentucky have put together a bill to start child support eligibility at conception. So it's no longer, Republican women that are batshit crazy for voting for these people. Republican men are batshit crazy for voting for these people. When is it going to be enough before the Republican base steps back and go, this doesn't really remind me of the Republican Party I signed up for, and start changing your freaking votes? How much more do we have to see before you recognize this is way out of hand? This is not freedom. This is not America. This is not things we're supposed to be doing. And if this is what you actually want, go find another country. May I suggest North Korea or Russia or maybe China? Just saying.
I can see a lot of men getting jammed up and caught up with this new law if it's passed. You're going to have a lot of women that are going to use this law to scam and finesse to get a check, just like they do with the EBT system, just like they do with the Section 8 system. I can see this being a new finesse. And ultimately, who's going to be hurt the worst is the men, because they're going to have to spend thousands of dollars in attorney fees to fight this, to get these child support orders overturned. So again, like I said, if you're a man in Texas, you should be on pins and needles right now if something like this gets passed. And honestly, if it was me, I would be reconsidering relocating to another state.
Now, Texas, you got me up here looking crazy. As my home state, I just have to say, this shit's about to get real sticky for a lot of y'all. Because they just passed a bill that says menfolk, you out here doing the do, laying the pipe, squirting the skeet all over Texas. You get that woman pregnant, you look at her last menstrual cycle and you add 2 weeks and you start paying child support for that.
Yo, just listen to that. You know how crazy that sounds? That literally you would be on the hook 2 weeks from her last period. That sounds absolutely insane. So she can literally just say you talking to a female, y'all was intimate, y'all doing what y'all do. For whatever reason, y'all break up or whatever, y'all stop messing with each other and go her separate ways. She can literally 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, have you on the hook for child support just to be spiteful or vindictive. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of brothers, not just brothers, but men in general who are going to get caught up in a lot of bullshit and have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get this reversed. This is going to be some nasty work if this gets passed.
Yup. And I know how some of y'all are. So ladies, please listen to me. And I am so serious when I say this. Maybe you shouldn't give it up. I'm just saying. And if you do use protection, don't let that man finish in you. Don't let that man finish in you. Because I'm telling you, you think that man about to give you his money? Especially if he broke and the government gonna come for him, who do you think he gonna come for? Right. So remember what Cardi said, y'all. Bacalise said, broke boys don't deserve no. I know that's right. All right. Good night.
Come on, we know damn well that this is not going to happen. A lot of women love to give up the cat to dudes that don't have their life in order, and then they get on the internet, TikTok, social media, Instagram, and cry later about how they can't get no support. So we know that's definitely not going to happen.
So I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Texas is not playing around, especially if you knock someone up. They've passed the new law requiring fathers to pay pre-birth child support. You heard me right. Pre-birth child support. This Texas bill would allow child support to begin from contraception. This is how the proposed bill would work. Fathers could be ordered to pay retroactive child support from the moment of contraception under a bill that passed the Texas Senate this week. How does child support currently work? Currently in Texas, child support doesn't take effect until the child is born, like everywhere else. But retroactive child support is typically limited to 4 years back from the time of filing unless there is evidence the man knew or should have known he was the father and tried to avoid support. So basically now, under the new law, SB 942, a judge could order retroactive child support payments beginning of the date of contraception instead of birth. So if you've been trying to pay your child support under this new law, you're not just responsible from after it's born, but you'll be responsible from the date 9 months back from when you conceived it. So my question to you, under this new proposed adjustment to child support in the state of Texas, are you rethinking your relationships? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I mean, not only should you be rethinking your relationships, you should be rethinking where you live at. Again, I'm not in favor of this law at all. Again, it's going to be a lot of men, in my opinion, that are going to get jammed up. And again, it's going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars in legal fees to get something like this reversed. Again, if this goes into law, I would immediately be on the first thing smoking out of Texas.
Morning TikTok, yo, I just woke up to some facts for real, bro. if we're really around here thinking that a fertilized egg is automatically a kid, bro, imagine if soon as you nutted, child support start, bro. Oh my God, bro. You want to see a horror movie? You want to see motherfuckers acting different? Oh my God, bro. Child support right off the nut, bro. Right off the nut. And then
He said child support right off the nut, though.
what'll make it even crazy? Let's get even more pettier since they going around scrubbing shit and making sure that you gotta have this kid. How about we do swabs and any DNA or data that they could find for another person? Soon as they find that DNA, that person is put on child support immediately. Immediately, bro. Oh my God. It ain't enough white women using child support, bro. Because if it was, boy, we'd be flipped upside down. I swear to God.
Again, like I said, this child support at conception is going to get a lot of brothers jammed up in the court system. Best believe it. But let me know in the comments below how you feel about this new proposed law in Texas. Again, let me know, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's unfair? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.